Welcome back to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports and We Coach. These are two great organizations that you really need to be a part of. So check out We Coach and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. And now let's have a quick word from our podcast sponsors. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack for sponsoring the AD Toolbox segment. Go to athleticsurveys.com and check out how they can help your school really take a deep dive into all the data that's available from your kids, your coaches, and your parents. We use surveys for just about everything at my school, and the information that came back was almost always positive, and it will be for you too. But surveys allow that squeaky wheel parent to vent a little bit, and sometimes they'll share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue because you didn't know about it, because you hadn't done a survey. Go to athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Talk to the folks at Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack and let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. We also want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. You know, they're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their touchscreen consoles and their variety of templates that will allow you to recognize the athletic achievements of your students. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration, but they are so much more than that. Final Forms can help out your parents with reminders on physicals and policies and all the forms that come when you have an athlete in the house. They can help your coaches with attendance and communication, and Final Forms can help you with eligibility and rosters and all the forms that come across your desk. To take the next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. They're going to show you how to sell your tickets, how to collect the revenue, and every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager providing hands-on support. Hometown will also show you how to sell your tickets online for things like school dances, school plays and concerts, even graduation. You'll find it all at hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to say thanks to Snap Mobile. Go to onsnap.com, that's onsnap.com, and check out their entire suite of platforms designed to help out athletic directors. Snap Raise is one of their bigger ones. We use Snap Raise at our school to raise thousands of dollars, and you can too. There's even an option to get your funding before you actually start your fundraiser. Does any other fundraising platform offer that? Snap Manage will help you design a website. Snap Store allows you to order custom spirit gear. You can find it all and more at onsnap.com. That's onsnap.com. We want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive for their support. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and check out their indoor scoring tables and video boards. They not only generate income for your department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. You can find it all at sidelineinteractive.com. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors and coaches are creating world-class marketing content for their school social media channel. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. It's so easy. Even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com. Use our podcast code ADPOD10 and get 10% off. Gipper.com. And we want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to Huddle.com. Huddle is how the world sees sports. Huddle can help your players, your coaches, your teams, your entire school play at their highest level. They have smart cameras, they have mobile apps, of course, they have analytics, and they have the tools to help your teams and your athletes do better. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an AD, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. At Huddle, we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 6 million users and find out how to turn your school into a Huddle school at huddle.com. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We've got a familiar guest today. Regular listeners will recall Destiny Brightman. She's an athletic administrator here in Portland. She was on the podcast a while back, and she's also part of our Wednesday Wisdom team. Destiny is a certified athletic administrator, and she's the athletic director at Orange Park High School, which is in the northeast corner of Florida in Clay County. Destiny, welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thank you, Jake. Very nice to be here.
Well, for our listeners, we're actually recording this on December 16th. So by the time you hear it, you'll probably be back in school in 2023. But we're just literally coming off the heels of a great NIAAA NADC conference. And Destiny was there in Nashville. Actually, it was her very first national conference. So I thought I'd do a download, see what some of her takeaways were. And Destiny, we'll go into some of the different activities that the NADC provides, but just off the top of your head, what's your reaction to your first national conference?
Oh, I am just filled with just absolutely an overflow of information just from being there. I mean, I think that getting into this job in general, I knew that every day I would learn something new. And so it was just exciting to be there and learn so much, be able to collaborate with so many like-minded people. Sometimes you feel like you're out here, in this world on your own in your schools because you're the only athletic director. So I just think it was a good time for me to see that there are other people that do exactly what I do on a daily basis.
No, absolutely. And I think that's one of the coolest things about the conference is those meetings that you have, whether it's with, rekindling old friendships or making new friends. Um, I want to talk first of all about the workshops. In previous years, and again, the NIAAA, the National Federation, the host committee from Tennessee, the TIAAA, did a wonderful job of creating a conference. But this one in particular for the workshops, it was very difficult. And I talked to a number of ADs who shared this thought. It was very difficult to pick out which workshop you wanted to go to. Sometimes you could say, well, I went to that last year, or, I think I know all that, and you probably don't. But this year, going down the menu, it was tough to choose. So what were some of the workshops that you attended that really stick out for you?
Well, I attended the first one, which was for first time attendees, and I thought that that was important to be there just to kind of understand, what was going to happen throughout the weekend. I also attended a workshop where it was strictly speaking to the female athletic directors, and that was really neat because this is a man's world is what it's called, right? So to be able to see other females and talk to them and walk that walk with them. I attended the life and work balance of an athletic director, which was extremely informational. But you're right, there were so many there that you kind of wanted to get in, sit in one, and then try to hear another one. I I did one where it was, the retention of girls in sports, how to, develop female athletes because we all encounter the same problem, all over the world, just trying to get more female athletes. I did one where it was, a professional development for your coaches, and then the essential duties, legal duties and responsibilities for athletic administrators and coaches. That was really, really informative. And then improving your coaches through evaluation using an educational based process, because we all, evaluate our coaches at the end of the season. And I kind of just wanted to get a different take on how other people, do that evaluation, establishing a championship culture, along with school support, which is huge in this job. And then one other one is when do you remove a coach? And I like that one. And then the NIL, there was a hot topic session where the new normal name, image, and likeliness, because all of that is just knocking on our front door, nowadays. So those were some of the ones that I sat in, took a lot of information, and it's good to know that I can go back and look at some of the classes that I didn't take, because all of those PowerPoints and stuff are loaded in our little app that we had. So all the ones that I didn't get a chance to go into, I'll have a chance to go back and look at some of them.
Yeah, and that's another great feature that the NIAAA provides, is that resource file, for athletic directors. Want to ask you about the LTI courses in a minute, but before we do that, how did you go about navigating the vendor exhibits? Obviously that can be a little bit overwhelming when you first walk in that door. So what was your strategy? How did you approach all the different vendors?
So, we got a lot of literature, emails, prior to getting in there. And so I did know that there were certain ones that I was looking for. So I kind of started there. The few that I had, said that I needed to go see, needed to go talk to them. But it was very overwhelming because I think there were like 600 vendors. And so the way the aisles were set up, I kind of just took it aisle by aisle, to walk down and got some really good information from, a lot of the vendors. And some of them are similar. They do the same thing. So it was good to hear different takes on how they do it, but it's the same product. But yeah, it was a great experience to walk in there. A lot of vendors, anything you needed was there.
Boy, it sounds like you really had a full schedule with the workshops. I didn't get to all of those, but again, as we said, the resource folder is just great. You and I were talking during the break, and you schedule didn't allow you to take an LTI course this year in Nashville. I know you're working towards that CMAA. What are some courses that are on your menu right now that you're planning on taking in the future? Any you can share?
Yes. So all the 600 courses, but the 613 and 614 more specifically, just because both of them are two tech courses, where one would be dealing with more Google, the other one is dealing with apps. And I wanted to take courses at the conference, but I also wanted to enjoy it, because they are, they would have been 4 hours, so I kind of chose sessions over them this time. And I'm going to get into a program where I can take them at my own pace, but I definitely look forward to taking those courses as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us to, the final point I want to talk about is, the workshops, the LTIs, those are great professional development opportunities and network building opportunities. Another way you build that network is, as you alluded to, some of the social get-togethers, the hospitality rooms, and the events that are sponsored by the vendors. Any of those stick out for you as, even a fun experience, but also a place where you made some new connections?
Oh, absolutely. I ran into, which it is just a very small world, but I did run into a friend that was in a different profession at the time, but I did my internship for my master's. And so he has since moved and taken over as an executive director of athletics and student activities in Alexandria City Public Schools. And so it didn't dawn on me that I would see other people. So that was probably the highlight of my trip. But I did have the time to network with other people, and you mingle, and that's where you get to talk. I mean, different companies had asked us to come to things. There was ice cream social that we were able to go to. And so yes, the socializing, the networking, it was all just a great experience.
All right. Well, again, for our listeners, Destiny uh, does a great job at her high school, here in Florida. Destiny, I know there's a young AD out there that's listening that has never been to the national conference. You've got 20 seconds to sell them on the importance of coming to the next year's national conference, which is going to be in our backyard right here in Orlando.
Right,
All
right.
right, go sell that
Okay.
listener on why they should go to the national conference.
You should go just for the experience, for one, being around like-minded people, and just to know that this job, people who don't do it don't understand it, and you're going to be around everyone who has done it.
That is so true. If you haven't done it, you have no clue what athletic directors do. Great stuff.
Right.
Destiny, if one of our listeners wants to reach out, pick your brain a little bit more, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
You can follow me on Orange Park Athletics. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Orange Park High School Athletics, or you can send me an email at destiny.brightman@myoneclay.net.
All right. Well, thanks again for sharing with us today on Wednesday Wisdom. All the best moving forward. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time on Wednesday Wisdom.
Thank you.
For listeners, remember the Zoom recordings of each interview get uploaded to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening today. Come back next Wednesday for more Wednesday Wisdom and just about every day for the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Once again, we appreciate listening to today's Wednesday Wisdom episode. We do want to thank our sponsors. Want to thank Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Want to say thanks to Huddle. Turn your school into a Huddle school. Video, analytics, and so much more. Go to huddle.com to get started. Want to thank Final Forms. Final Forms is there to help your stakeholders, your coaches, and you. Go to finalforms.com/Jake for more information. I want to say thanks to Gipper. Create custom branded content for your school's social media channels. And if you mention the podcast, you'll get 10% off. Go to Gipper.com for more information. Hometown Ticketing is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com for more information. We also want to thank Snap Mobile. They have an entire suite of platforms designed to help you and your department run better. Snap Raise is probably the most popular one. We used it to raise thousands of dollars at our school, and you can too. Go to onsnap.com. That's onsnap.com. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Surveys allow you to take the pulse of your parents and your kids and get that feedback that allows you to address small issues and keep them from turning into big issues because you didn't know about them because you hadn't done a survey. Go to athleticsurveys.com and let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. And finally, we want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor scoring tables and video boards. We've got a Sideline Interactive score table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. Go to sidelineinteractive.com for more information. Thanks again for listening to Wednesday Wisdom. We'll see you next time and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. Have a great one.